Sundays for the men. Got Sundays for the men. Sundays for the men. Got Sundays for the men. We're talking Sundays for the men. Got Sundays for the men. On Sundays for the men. Sundays for the men. You got Sundays for the men. Roxbury Softball. Got Sundays for the men. On Sundays for the men. Sundays for the men. Got Sundays for the men. Sundays for the men.
We need you, Dubs. We need you. Don't hesitate on the woo. We are back on another Wednesday edition of the Sundays for the Men podcast, live from the Mayor's Committee of Roxbury. Before the Fluke tournament meeting happens, we had to get this done. So welcome back. Lots happened over the weekend, and to start the week here as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, which begin next weekend?
Friday, August 10th.
Friday, August 10th. We're getting there as the summer dwindles away. But we're back with you here to catch you up to speed for your commutes or your walks or whatever. We got Big Daddy Greg to my left.
Hey.
We got former Mayor of Roxbury, Anthony Alaco.
Hello.
We have former Mayor Hopeful, William Trotter.
Yep.
And joining us today, special guests from the Bush Leaguers, we got Joe Stevens.
How we doing?
And there he is. And we have Timmy Fleimer.
Yep.
Welcome, boys. Welcome to the program. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Lots to talk about with you guys from the past couple of softball days, Sunday and Monday. Monday was a huge game, but let's not skip Sunday. Let's not gloss it over. Although you'd probably like us to skip Sunday, because if we go to the 10 a.m. game Sunday, July 29th, we had the Bombers and the Bush Leaguers, and the Bush Leaguers defeated the Bombers earlier in the year for a huge win that kind of set them on the winning path again. But this Sunday was not their day. A 12-0 victory for the Bombers at 10 a.m. on Sunday. So if Joe or Tim want to take us through that, what the hell happened Sunday morning?
Well, not a lot of guys showed up. And when the Bombers hit singles and not home runs, and they beat you that way, they're pretty much unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
One of those classic 10 a.m. Sunday games where guys just don't show up, people are hurting. I mean, that's no excuse, but, I mean,
It sounds like an excuse.
Game. A little bit.
No, it's an excuse. It's not a legitimate one for anyone.
No,
come on, we're basically adults.
Yeah,
we got to get up at 10 a.m. and play softball.
Yeah.
Anything to add on that game from anyone that's not a Bush Leaguer? No. Well, if you don't say no, no one's gonna.
I was sleeping.
You were sleeping?
Yeah, I wasn't here. I was coming home
Pretty
from
sure I
Baltimore.
was asleep, too.
Oh, right, yeah. How were the crab cakes?
They were good.
That's excellent. Did you go to the Cross Street Market?
No, I didn't.
You did it wrong. You shouldn't even have bothered to go to Baltimore. Anyway, so a 12-0 victory for the Bombers, 10 a.m. Sunday. Bockers Sharks. Oh, God, the Bockers. Greg, I know you are very partial toward the Bockers because you are literally in love with Junior and Terrence. So how do you feel about this, again, a 12-1 win for the Sharks? Two teams trending in opposite directions. What's wrong with the Bockers?
I don't know. I'm happy. I'm very happy that they're losing, though.
Anthony?
I don't think anything's wrong with them. I think just their schedule caught up with them. You know, they had a very easy first half of the schedule, and now they're playing teams that are good, and it's showing. They're still a good team, but they're not a top, 3 team. They're a round-robin team.
They've been a top 3 team all year until fairly recently.
Exactly, but it always goes back. You know, it always evens out at the end.
From 8-2 to 8-7.
Yeah.
And their final game is tonight?
Yes, against
which we'll
the
get
Sharks.
into later. So they could very well go from 8-2 to 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
So
a 6-game losing streak.
Geez, the only thing worse than that is if you play for the Goons or the Phlegm, as the Goons took on the Castaways at 1 o'clock on Sunday after the drubbing that the Castaways hung on them the previous Monday night. A little bit closer, but a 6-1 win for the Castaways. Costly error in the first inning by myself. That led to 2 runs, but that's what happens when you put me in the outfield. Although I caught everything else, so whatever, get off my fucking back, right? Trotter, you were a spectator in that game. What'd you see?
I saw we did everything right for once, and you did everything wrong.
Did you do everything right?
No, we didn't do anything terribly, though.
You still didn't score much.
Yeah.
No, that seems to be our main issue is scoring a lot of runs.
Fair enough. Greg, anything to add on the Castaway sweep of the Goons this year?
I mean, the Goons going to be here next year?
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors that they're not.
There'll be plenty of Goons going around. Who's going to be playing for them? That's the question.
Will you be one of them?
Well, I don't know. It's up in the air.
I don't know. There was some.
Based on my performance in the Sugar Bowl Sunday night, there might be a new Mr. Castaway in the mix. Again, all spec. It's all speculation. It's all speculation. And just to get into the 2:30 game on Sunday, the Phlegm and the Sharks game of the week, apparently. A 7-4 victory for the Sharks. So, again, the Sharks are sewing themselves into the top 3, defending champs, so things going well for them. And the seller's going to come down to the Goons and the Phlegm on the final game of the year. The Goons have a doubleheader this Sunday, but let me bring in Timmy and Joe again. If you had to predict Goons Phlegm next Wednesday, 1 week from tonight, final regular season game of the season, who do you got and why? Goons Phlegm.
I mean, I might side with the Phlegm here because they beat us one time. So just to make ourselves look a little better, I'd say the Phlegm.
Timmy?
Yeah, I'd have to say Phlegm too.
God damn it.
Motherfucker.
No.
Fuck you.
That one. I think everyone on the podcast except for me picked the Phlegm. So the Goons have their workout cut out for them. I think do we play you guys Sunday?
Yes.
We play you Sunday. We play we play someone else Sunday. Court maybe? Greg? I don't know. Anyway, so Sunday's not looking great as you guys try to finish out the season strong. And then Wednesday we got the Phlegm, and we'll see how that goes. And according to this podcast, it's not going to go very well. So before we get into tonight's content, let's quickly recap Monday night. Something I know that Anthony Alago's been looking forward to doing all day, especially since he learned the Bush Leaguers were coming on tonight.
Hey, I asked for him to come on tonight.
It was a very highly anticipated game.
Yeah, there's a lot of build-up, but
the build-up was much better than the game itself.
Oh yeah, it was not much of a game, I tell you that.
A 14-1 washing of the Castaways at the hands of the Bush Leaguers. Timmy, what went right for you? You were on the mound for that game.
We hit. We usually don't hit, and we hit. So.
And I guess you pitched well.
Mike Nouse wasn't there.
Mike Nouse wasn't there.
We played the field pretty well.
They played a pretty perfect game all around. You know, they didn't make any errors really. Timmy pitched well, and they were crushing the ball all night. So it's kind of hard to win when.
What went wrong, Anthony?
A lot of things went wrong, to be honest. You know, fielding wasn't great. We made a couple errors. I think Burns was pretty flat all night, and I think he'll even tell you he just didn't have it that night. He usually throws it a little higher. He's not like dropping moon balls, but he's a little tougher. Usually he just wasn't tough at all. And I think our main issue is just the lineup, not turning over the lineup and just leaving guys on base the whole game. We had guys on, we just couldn't score.
So after all the talk, how'd that feel?
What talk?
All the talk, pregame talk. People were talking.
Hey, it's
people saying this, people saying that.
It's everyone's competitive. You want to talk. You're gonna try to get the edge when you can. But the better team won that night. They were the better team and they won. And hats off to them. Oof. They deserve to win.
They were a lot better.
Yeah, they were. But with that being said, I think if we see them in the round robin, I don't think it's gonna be that. I think it'll be a little closer game.
I hope so. I'd like a little bit of a closer game if I'm going to be sitting there watching. So just take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more fun to watch.
I mean, our first game went to extras, so
yeah, we lost.
What, against you guys?
Yeah, we lost in the 8th inning.
Was Nouse there for that one?
I don't remember.
I think he was.
I want to say he was.
He was.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see if
I think obviously Nouse makes the game closer, but still we have to score more than one run.
That's true. It is ARC softball.
But like I said, Bush Leaguers are in a good position to get the bye in the round robin, and good for them. They deserve it.
Well, as it says now, what are they in? What are you guys in 5th?
We're in 5th.
Yeah, they're in
Packers
5th.
lose tonight, and we win Sunday, then we get 4th.
Yeah, and they play you guys on Sunday.
Doesn't seem like that's a tall order.
Basically, the Bakers would have to win tonight in order for them. If they win tonight, they get 4.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys are pretty much locked into 6th.
We're in 6th.
That's it.
We had to. Yeah, we couldn't.
Are the Shockers mathematically eliminated?
Yes,
I believe so.
Okay, there you go. So the round robin set, we'll get back to that in a little bit. Other game Monday night, Bakers Corp. Again, not much of a, not very interesting to watch. The Corp win 15-4. You had Matt Monahan on the mound for the Bakers. That didn't go very well. He did fall. I was here for that. I didn't stay the whole game, but I did see Matt fall making a play first. That was pretty funny, Matt. I also heard we had an ejection Can anyone say something about that?
I heard
had
John
left
Conroy
already.
got ejected.
Yeah, I was there.
Tim, what happened?
It was a close call, the first strike, and he threw the bat against the fence
After the first strike?
after the first strike.
So he didn't strike out.
No, just one strike.
What inning was this?
So he had one more, but he went and picked up the bat, and he continued to talk to Joe, and then Joe threw him out. And then Conroy was upset.
He didn't throw him out right after the bat throw?
No, he gave him a chance.
Wow.
That's pretty
It's
bad.
a long leash.
Yeah, I don't see how you don't get thrown out
My
immediately after.
assumption was, because I think Alex said, like, Conroy threw the bat at the fence after a strike call, and Joe threw him out. Like, that made it sound like it was just right away.
Do you know what he said to him?
What Conroy said?
Yeah.
Come on, Joe.
I can imagine what he said.
You probably can't say it, but
It was probably awesome.
He said things along the line like, a long time in this league, I've never been screwed like that. And all that.
That's his standard. That's his standard jeer toward Joe. It's good. Okay, so Conroy
Vintage-
gets ejected.
vintage
Did
Conroy.
Did we put an over under on ejections?
I think it was
It's like 2, or was it 1.5? So we're getting there now. So we'll see how it goes.
Halfway there.
Did the playoffs count?
Too, didn't he?
He's been ejected already this year.
I thought.
didn't he? No, I think
Did anyone else get ejected from a game this year?
he didn't get ejected, but after the game, he was screaming at Joe.
He was. I
But don't
remember
know if he
that.
was kicked out,
Sticking something somewhere.
but
Yes.
they do play tonight, so anything can happen.
All right, I'm going to stay for the game this time.
Early.
I left and I missed the fireworks. I thought the fireworks were going to come in the first game. Turns out it came in the second game, courtesy of the mayor of Roxbury, John Conroy. So thanks, John. So that was Monday night. 2 not so close games. We'll talk tonight's games later on. We had our content master, Mr. Anthony Lago, come up with a few questions to ask the round table. And since Trotter's been so quiet to start this podcast, Bill, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I mean, you're quiet the day you fix your mic and everybody could hear you.
Yeah, it happens.
All right, so I'm going to ask Billy the first question first, and then anyone else who wants to chime in, feel free. But the question now becomes, are the Bush Leaguers the team to beat in the round robin, even if they don't finish in 4th? Why or why not? Billy.
Well, I think they are just because of the drumming they gave us. We all said it's going to be closer next time, but they seem to be the team on the upward swing, and the Bockers seem to be on the downward
You're
swing.
saying they sent a nice little message to you.
And we're
And now you're scared.
treading water.
Is that a Castaway Island joke?
Yes.
You're a dick.
I didn't mean that.
Anyone else, Anthony?
I think you should ask the Bush Leaguers first.
Okay, Joe Stevens. Are the Bush Leaguers the team to beat in next week's round robin?
Yeah, I think we are. After our kind of lull in the beginning of the season, I think we're coming back hot and we all feel good. Our field's playing as well as it has in previous seasons. We just got to keep up the hitting.
You've had yourself a season, Joe.
Thank you.
I voted you to the All-Star team. Just
thank you.
Just want you to know that.
Appreciate that.
Not that there is an All-Star team, but if
So
there
you-
was.
There was.
in
You
my
also
mind.
voted Steve from the Road to the All-Star
I
team.
stand by it, Steve. Keep after it, buddy. You got this. Anyway, Joe, thank you. Timmy, do you agree or disagree with your teammate, Joe Stevens?
I definitely agree. Yeah, we started off real slow, but we got hot. We lost a couple games, teams we probably should lose to, but yeah, we've taken care of business against the teams we think we should beat, and I think Monday night proved it that we're the team to beat.
Is this still the year of the Bush?
It is the year of the Bush.
I miss the Young Guns. Anyway, Anthony, agree or disagree with your teammate Billy and also the Bush Leaguers?
If you asked me a week ago, I would say no, we were the team to beat. But after Monday, I would say you have to kind of go with them, honest, because they were struggling to hit, until I feel like Monday they kind of broke out. They kind of broke out of their slumping. They were slumping a little bit from the plate, but they hit the shit out of the ball the other day, and they're probably going to get the 4 spot now because I think the Bockers are going to lose tonight to the Sharks, so they're in a pretty good position.
I say it's looking good for them, especially that their next game is against the Goons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Next game against the
they got
Goons.
the
I
4
feel like
spot.
everything's kind of coming together at the right time for the Bush Leaguers. So if I was on the outside and I wasn't biased and I was looking at the round robin itself, I would probably pick them to win, yes.
See, but now I'm scared because let's say the Bush Leaguers do take the 4 seed, then there's a chance that you guys won't play in the round robin.
There is a chance.
And I don't like that.
The Bockers could beat us. In the
I
first
want that
game.
rubber match, just as a fan looking in.
It could happen.
Well, you got a TCB,
I hear you, man. We just
Gotta do
gotta hit, and we didn't hit.
Greg, you have anything to add to that?
I'm going to go against everyone here and say that we're the team to beat.
Oh, shit. And what gives you, after what happened Monday, how dare you?
I say that we come out of the round robin after beating the Bockers hot. We're already warm. Bush Leaguers maybe have a few pops before the game.
Why the fuck you lying?
And I think we take care of business.
All right, so that begs a different question. Like, so we brought this up last year on the podcast, and someone brought it up outside the Mayor's on Sunday. Would you rather play in the first game of the round robin to carry momentum into a second, or would you rather have the bye? I see Timmy shaking his head.
As a pitcher, I'd rather have the bye. I don't want to throw strikes. I have to throw strikes for 14 innings rather than 7.
That's fair enough from a pitching perspective.
Who said the first game's going to go for 7 innings?
Whoa. There's no mercy in the playoffs. There's no run rule in the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no mercy in the playoffs. So
well, then you said
seven.
it's going to go 7 innings.
Could go 8 or 9, but it can't go less than 7.
That's fair. I did not know that.
Yeah, there's no run rule in the playoffs.
You learn something new every day, Greg.
Does anyone think that it'd be better to play in the first game of the round robin?
Absolutely not. You want the bye and you want home field. It's easier to win one game than 2. It's easy math.
Yeah.
It's science.
It is science.
It's really people look too much into it. Oh, you're going to be hot in the second game. No.
Well, having done both in my career and never gotten out of the round robin, I can tell you it doesn't fucking make a difference. You just gotta, wherever you land, you gotta win.
Believe me, we wanted to win on Monday. That's because that was what we were playing for 4th. With that win on Monday, we were setting ourselves up to be in good position for 4th. That's what we wanted, and it didn't happen. So.
But it did not happen.
And now the Bush Leaguers are they're in a good spot. But like you said, you just got to get into the dance. Anything can happen.
Driver's seat. All right, second question. Though it seems like it has an obvious answer. What can the Castaways do to score more runs? And do they have a chance to come out of the round robin?
You're going to me first?
Yeah, I'll go to you again, Billy.
All right, well, you got to say that, not just look at me. The short answer is we just got to maximize and capitalize on our hits. We left a lot of guys on, and then we would hit, right up, back up to the pitcher when we had 2 guys on. So that doesn't help anyone. We got to make less errors in the field, but I don't think that was killing us. It just wasn't helping us. But what's killing us is not scoring any runs.
Is he right?
I guess. No wrong answer. It's an opinion question.
In your opinion, do you have a chance to come out of the round robin?
It's always a chance. You're in the round robin. Any team has a chance to come out.
No.
Well, I was going to say, let me ask the Bush Leaguers. Do the Castaways have a chance of coming out of the round robin?
No, sir.
The confidence is there.
They should be confident. They just beat us by 13 runs on Monday. If they're not confident now, they're never going to be confident.
That's true. Greg?
Score more runs, we got to take more pitches. There's a lot of us that go up there, swing at the first pitch every time.
I disagree. I think we need to be more aggressive at the plate. I think we're being way too timid, and we're getting behind in the count, and then we're getting tougher pitches to hit, and then we're not doing anything with them. I think, honestly, in order for us to get more runs, we have to be more aggressive. If a pitcher throws a short pitch, you know what? You got to swing at it. You got to try to drive the ball.
I think there's a chance for you to come out of the round robin. My hope is that it comes down to you and the Bush Leaguers, just because, again, that's the matchup we want to see. But after Monday, it's an uphill climb now, and maybe they're a little bit in your head too. After that,
I'm sure they are. I'm sure. Like I said, we're an underdog, no doubt about it. The Bush Leaguers are the favorite, but like I said, there's a chance.
I feel like I'm talking about the young guns.
I feel like we have the best pitcher in the round robin, so I feel like if you have the best pitcher, you have a chance.
If he's on, he's had some rough starts to games too. You don't want to fall behind.
He has, and we got to score runs for him. We can't make any excuses about what happened Monday night. We played what we had, and you know what? We had most of our team, and we should have been better, and they were a lot better than us that night. But we got a chance. There's a chance.
All right. So let's talk about the Bockers. That's the Bockers sound effect, the sound that they've been making for the past 6 games. Does the Bockers losing streak carry into the round robin, or does their experience carry them? Greg?
I think it's going to carry over. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to put up 4 runs against us. I think they're going to lose.
So you think they're losing tonight too?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Whew. Joe, any opinion on the Bockers' free fall?
I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're done.
The Bush Leaguers are not lacking for confidence, and I like it. Timmy?
Yeah, I don't think they can make it out of the first game. Mike Nous is too good for them, and they aren't very good.
They were so hot beginning of the year, but like we said, their schedule was very front-loaded. If they do get hot, though, they can all hit the ball. They're a singles team. They've done it to teams this year. So what do you think, Ant?
I think, honestly, if we play them in the first game, which it's looking like we're gonna, we can't give them any free bases, no walks, because if you give them walks, they're going to hit, and they're going to move runners around, and we can't make any errors. I think if we don't walk any guys and we don't make any errors, I think we win that game very easily. I really do. I think we're more athletic. I think our lineups are pretty even, and I just think
yeah, I can agree with that, I guess.
I think our lineup's pretty even, but I think our defense and our pitching's better. So I think if we don't make any mistakes, we should beat them.
Bill, yes?
Yeah, I agree. And furthermore, I will say, though, that I think the Bakers, to go back to the experience, they have the experience where I don't think we're going to blow them out.
No.
They're going to make it a tough game, but I think we do have the...
Yeah, a lot of those guys have played there before.
Yeah,
I think it also, coming into the round robin, losing 6 games in a row, how confident can you be?
Well, they could also be hungry.
Yeah.
I guess, but
yeah, you're on a 6-game losing streak when
I
you
feel
were
like
8-2.
morale's got to be a little low right now.
Oh, God.
On a 6-game slide.
There are rumors of people moving, so that never helps.
That's all gossip.
Keep the windmill moving. It's fine. All right. The Sharks have been really hot as of late, but does losing Hendo for the playoffs have any effect, especially out in right field? We've seen some right field effects. Sean Cahill. Is it a butterfly or a softball? It was a softball, but it flew by him like butter. And the Sharks lost that game that day. But if Hendo's out there, does he make that catch is the question.
Yes.
That's what you have to wonder. So does that hurt them in the playoffs? I'll go to the Bush Leaguers. You guys are tight with the Sharks. What do you think?
I think it hurts. Definitely, Hendo's an awesome player. He's been hitting the ball real well this year in both leagues. But I think they have enough people on their team, enough depth, enough.
Well, they got that guy Murdoch, right?
Yeah,
He's had a pretty good year, I
think. I think they'll be all right. I really do.
With Sean Cahill in right field?
I hope that it doesn't come down to that.
I mean, he can catch the ball.
Who's their starting right fielder if everyone shows up? I don't know.
I thought it was Sean.
I think it's Pax Edford.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Is that the skinny kid? I don't know.
Yeah, he's like an original BPC guy who's been around for a while.
He's a righty, right? Yeah. He's still a little shaky too, though. I've seen him miss some pretty bad fly balls.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, their strength last year was their defense, so we'll see if that carries over again for him.
And their pitching.
And they have Greg.
That's
and
I mean, that's
Mike O'Brien is crushing the ball this year.
much,
He's on a tear.
The pitching thing is part of the defense. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, O'Brien. We know he's clutch
Make
after
an
last year. We know that Nigel steps his game up in the playoffs. After last year.
They're going to be a tough.
What is that, Tim?
If they get Bombers, then right field's a big difference.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I said. If they play the Bombers, it's huge.
true.
You might want to put your best outfielder.
I was about to say, why not put Nigel in right then?
The Bombers can hit, though. They're not always. I mean, also depends on the wind. Like, if the wind's blowing out to right, they're going to try and go for it. But if it isn't, they could all hit to left center and over.
Yeah. It's
so many scenarios.
I think they'll be okay also, but I don't think it's their year. I think whoever they get in the first round is going to knock them out.
That's a conversation for another day. But I think they'll be okay also.
I just don't see anybody beating the Bombers or the Corp except each other this year because they're just both.
Well, in that vein, are there any Corp weaknesses that playoff teams such as yourselves, if you get out of the round robin, could hope to exploit?
No, praying. Praying, yes.
So there are no weaknesses.
There are no
on that entire team.
Al?
He won't be starting.
My point.
Anthony?
I think the Corp's defense is a little shaky at times, especially up the middle. They have a pitcher that can't throw the ball. He can't turn a double play, so that's a weakness. You can exploit that if you hit up the middle. I think Quackenbush is a good player, but I don't think he's a shortstop. I think he's out of his position, so I feel like if you hit the ball there a lot, I think he can show some weakness there. I think defensively they have a couple of spots where they can be exploited, but offensively there's no weakness. 1 to 10.
Tommy Green have a hard time moving a little bit.
Yeah, he's not what he used to be.
Not as mobile as a third baseman as he'd like.
And I think Benny's strong point is his hitting. I don't think he's a great fielder. I think he's a good second baseman. I don't think he's lights out by any stretch.
So they're not as perfect as Billy made them out to be.
They're pretty good. They're pretty close.
It's more that you're right. Their defense is a weakness, but I think it's easily overcome by their offense.
But I'd say their defense is still better than our defense, and that's their weakness. So
their weakness is still.
I'm kind of grasping at straws here. Just trying to
splitting hairs.
Yeah, trying to find something.
And what about?
It's hard to find any ground in that outfield at all.
That's true too.
So
good outfield, good arms out there too.
Yeah, their outfield's very good.
Yeah. Their infield's making plays, and
Yeah, it's,
Hey, kind of just have to hope they don't hit the ball.
Yeah,
over the fence.
which is tough to hope for, especially the way
Quackenbush.
Quack and Jerry have been hitting home runs this year.
How much did Court pay that guy? How much did they pay for his
Several
house?
million.
Yeah.
They moved him down here, relocation fees. No, he sat there in that house for like 6 years and no one even knew him. Of
Of
course,
course, Jerry found him.
he would fall into the corpse lap.
Hey, Doug's cousin. It would have been nice to know.
Right? Anything. Like, he played baseball. Like, go say something.
It's hard to miss him,
He's 8
too.
feet tall.
He's a big man. He's a mountain of a man.
I've never seen him outside of softball, though.
I have. Well, he lives by my house.
You live there.
He's on Crab Apple.
He's on Crab Apple.
Yeah.
about it.
Good boy Quackenbush.
That's his jam. You don't know.
Anyway,
Now you
same question, but the Bombers now. The Bombers and Corp jostling for first and second overall. See, you would play the Sharks in the first round. Is there a weakness with the Bombers, Bush Leaguers? Think about it.
Not on Sunday,
Hey.
but I mean, they can be beat. They can be beat.
Well, you did it.
Yeah.
That was some game.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
Seems like forever ago, but it was a good game from what I do remember. Yeah, and they're beatable. I think it's a huge advantage for any team that plays them on a night where the wind isn't blowing out to right field. Again, you have no control over that, so I'll go the Billy route and say pray for
Yeah, pray, but
wins in your favor.
they do pop out when they're not hitting well. They're all just popping straight up. So again, pray for that they're just getting under it instead of singling you or home running you to death.
And when things don't go well, I've seen the Bombers get on each other.
Yes.
I'd say that's their biggest weakness.
You kind of got to get ahead and try and get under their skin.
If they get down like early, they get on each other and they start to like fight. So that's really, you have to get up early on them, and honestly, they make some base running errors too. They get a little too aggressive on the base pass sometimes. I've seen them do, especially now that they're getting a little bit older, and some guys try to take extra bases on you and they shouldn't be taking them. So if you have to be aggressive throwing the ball a little bit and you have to get ahead early, I feel like those are the two things you have to do to beat the Bombers.
Well, someone's going to get a chance to do it.
Yeah, someone's gonna get a chance, and hopefully, upsets are kind of fun to watch. So you always kind of root for an upset.
I'd rather play the Bombers in the first round than the Corp.
See, this is something that
I was gonna be my follow-up question.
yeah, no one would answer. Ray wouldn't answer that question last week. We had Ray Hendry on, and he refused to answer it. So you said you'd rather play the Bombers?
Yeah, well, personally, the Corp have my number. Quackenbush, I think, is like probably 6 for 8 with 3 home runs against me this year, and not just Quackenbush.
It's a pretty good reason.
So, I mean, I'd much rather play the Bombers this year, but either way, it's you got to play.
Did you play the Corp last year in the first round
Yes,
when you
we
came
did.
out of the round robin?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So Timmy Fleimer, you heard it here first. Would rather play the Bombers in the first round because the Corp have his number.
Well, they also beat the Bombers once.
That's a fair
this year,
assessment
you know?
too. But you have a reason, like not just dodging the question. You didn't dodge the question, and I like that. 'Cause Ray Hendry was out here dodging questions
Yeah.
like a bitch. Anyway, Ray, we love you. Thanks for coming on last week. All right. So we had an idea. I didn't write any of this down, by the way.
Oh boy. Is this a Greg idea?
Well, yeah, I think it was Greg. We were going to compare the 3 round robin teams, regardless of where they finish, 4, 5, or 6. Bush Leaguers, Bockers, Castaways. How do they stack up at every position, and who has the edge? So I'm just going to use Greg's cheat sheet. Let's start with first base for the Castaways. Anthony, that's going to be Matt Perrone.
Yes.
Who's the starting first baseman for the Bush Leaguers in the round robin?
If he shows, it'll be Matt Petronis.
Okay, so Barstool Sully still on the shelf.
He's
So he could do the worm and puddles, but he can't fucking stand at first base, knock a ball down, and
no comment.
all right. So Petronis, and then we believe that the Bockers, with their full squad, would have Jimmy Mangett at first base. Billy, who do you give the edge to in that trio?
I'm going to give the Castaways.
Big surprise.
Now, Perron's playing really well this year.
Yeah, he's okay, I guess.
Not throwing bats at your family.
That's
nice.
good. That's good. That's
Hitting
good.
the ball well, making the plays.
Greg, who do you give the edge? Because you wrote this down here.
I think it's a toss-up between Petronis and Perrone. Petronis can hit a home run at any time, and Perrone, I think, might just be better defensively.
Anthony?
I'd say Petronis because he's a home run threat and he hits the ball very hard, and he's underrated defensively. I think he made a nice pick against us the other night.
Joe?
Yeah, I'd say Petronis as well. Yeah, I agree with Double A. He is underrated defensively. He played ball in college, and he just knows what he's doing out there. He can make the stretch and make the scoop.
Before I get to Timmy, just to be clear on this programming note, the murmuring you're hearing in the background is the Fluke tournament meeting shuffling in. So
Should
it
we
sounds
shut
like
that in the back?
I don't care. It sounds like we have a crowd. Let's keep it going. Timmy, who's got the edge at first base?
I'm going to go with Petronas just because even without hitting home runs, he's hitting probably like 600 this year. He's just been roping singles and doubles, and he's been real good for us.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to go with Petronas, although Matt Perrone has impressed me. Having played several years with Matt on the Young Guns, this is by far his best hitting year down here.
Jimmy Mangan's no slouch either. He's still
not
a
a
very
slouch.
good hitter.
He's not a slouch,
I
but
think he's right.
he's got those big-ass tree trunk legs, but, you know, they're not as young as they used to be. Jimmy, you know, you're my boy, Jimmy Mangan for mayor, 2018. I'm going to give the edge to Petronas and the Bush Leaguers at the first base position. And now we go to the second base position, where Greg hasn't really written much.
I don't know, buddy.
So, Matt Chicago for the Castaways. I'm going to assume Luke is going to be your second baseman.
Yeah.
That's Luke Schreiner.
Yes.
Having a good year. And the second baseman for the Bockers, that's
What's his name?
Phil.
Phil, yeah.
All-star Phil?
Yeah.
No, not Phil Carr.
No,
Just
not
other
Phil Carr. He's a little bigger than Phil Carr.
Let's start on this side now, Billy. You got Matt Chicago, you got Luke Schreiner, and you got Phil from the Bockers. Who's got the edge at second base?
I'm going Bush Leaguers with
Luke.
Yeah, with Luke.
Timmy?
Defensively, I'd give Luke the edge too. He's a vacuum.
Joe?
Yeah, I agree. Luke is a vacuum. He hasn't been playing there all season, but it looks like he has.
Because he's unstoppable out there.
Anthony?
It's hard right now. Chicago's kind of struggling for us. I would say any other year, I'd say he's one of like a really good player, and he would probably be better. But this year, I feel like I go with Luke as well. I feel like he's got underrated pop too. You look at him; he doesn't look very big, but he hits the ball pretty hard and he's pretty fast. And I haven't seen him make an error this season, so I'd probably go with him.
Gregory?
I also take Luke because Chicago can't hit a ball to save his life. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to take Luke also.
Unanimous.
And again, if Chi-Town is not a bad player when he's on, but one error, two errors, and then his head's kind of out of the game. And I don't know Luke very well, but from what I've seen, he's can hit the shit out of the ball as well as play a pretty good second base. So, all right, Bush Leaguers have the edge at first and second base so far. Let's go to short, where it's going to get better.
Oh boy.
Brian Doyle for the Castaways, Kyle Schreiner for the Bush Leaguers, and Junior for the Bockers.
Ooh.
This is actually a pretty good.
This is tough.
This is a tough one.
It's a good crop of shortstops here.
This is a good. Yeah, this is like a good.
I'm going to start with you, Anthony.
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Junior. You know what? Kyle's awesome. So is Doyle.
Yeah,
Doyle's
they're all
awesome.
really good.
They're all really good, but I feel like hitting-wise, Junior is the most consistent out of all three, and I feel like fielding, they're all pretty good. I think Kyle's probably the best fielding shortstop of the three, but I feel like Junior's also really good, and his bat's just ridiculous. So I'd go with Junior.
Joe?
Again, I think I got to go with Kyle. Defensively, he's been making incredible plays this season. He's been making incredible plays this season, and I really don't see him slipping up at all for the rest of the way.
Tim?
Defensively, I think Kyle's the best shortstop in the league. Hitting though, he could be getting consistent at times, but he's proven in the past in the playoffs or in a clutch game that he shows up. So I'm taking Kyle.
William?
I'm kind of split. I would say Kyle defensively just because he's so tall. He can reach anything. But, like Double A said, Junior just hits the shit out of the ball, and he always hits the ball.
Gregory?
Taking Junior. He's fast. Kyle has that weird arm thing. You ever see him throw? He cocks it back too far. I feel like he takes a little too much time. He makes up with speed, but Junior can also crush any ball.
Oh, God, it's tough.
That's probably the only position that Brian Doyle wouldn't be the best player.
Yeah. That's a good crop of shortstops.
Yeah, like Doyle's an outfielder. The only reason why he plays shortstop is because he's the best shortstop on our team.
Because he can.
Yeah, because he can. He's an outfielder. That's not even his best position, and he's still pretty good at shortstop.
Yeah.
I am going to take.
The split. You can split us right here.
No splits.
I'm going to take Kyle.
Split.
I've played on a team with Kyle, won a championship with Kyle, and he's really, really good at sports.
Oh, he's awesome. We all know he's awesome.
Junior, you're fucking terrible. Stay off the field. Don't let me see you here again.
I didn't want the Bush Leaguers to win 3 in a row.
Kick your ass, Junior, because you're small and you have no biceps.
I gave him the first 2. I was like, I couldn't give him the third one. Maybe we'll get third base.
Triple!
Maybe.
Oh, I didn't know that was a whole song on it. Sorry,
my
guys.
God.
Whoa, that jumped up a notch. Anyway, third base. You got Bob Schroeder for the Castaways. You got
Mark Holstrom.
Mark Holstrom for the Bush Leaguers. And I was just talking shit about him. There he is. and you got John Conroy for the Bockers, who to his credit has looked pretty good over there at third. But I'll go ahead and go first on this one because to me this is a no-brainer. You got Bob Schroeder. He might be one of the best defensive third basemen ever played down here. The Castaways have my vote on this one. Go, Greg.
I agree with you, Rick. Bob is a vacuum. Hitting's getting better. I don't know Mark very well, and I'm not going to compare Bob and Conroy ever.
Anthony?
I'll say this: the kid Wallstrom is pretty good.
Wallstrom or Holstrom?
Holstrom, whatever. Holstrom.
Wallstrom's the guy that the Islanders...
Oh, yeah. Walsh, he's good too. But the guy Holstrom, he played third base the other night against us. He made a lot of nice plays, so I'm not going to take anything away from him. But you can't really pick against Bob Schroeder when it comes to third base. He's been doing it for almost 30 years now, so I'm going to go with Bob Schroeder.
Joe?
Yeah, I think I, as much as I would love to go Mark, I think Bob's just got the experience, and he's proven it time and time again that he's very good at the position. And, yeah, I guess I got to go Bob.
Timmy?
I'm going Conroy.
All right, Timmy's going Conroy.
Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob gives the Castaways the edge at third base with an honorable mention for John Conroy, who hasn't looked bad over there for a few games, actually.
The key with Conroy is if he catches the first ball, he's good all game. If he misses the first ball, he's going to miss 4 or 5 more. He gets in his head way too much, so if he catches that first one, I think he's going to have a good game. But if he misses that first one, it could get dicey. Here's
an interesting one. Pitcher. You got Mike Nouse for the Castaways. You have one of our special guests tonight, Timmy Fimer. Timmy Fimer for the Bush Leaguers. And you have another Timmy, shut the fuck up! Hanning for the Bockers. So I'll start with Joe Stevens now. Remember, your pitcher's sitting right next to you. Be smart about it.
Yes, he is. I'm going to have to go with the young Fimer kid. He's taken this team to the playoffs once. He'll do it again.
Timmy, dare I even ask?
I would go with myself.
William?
I'm going to say Nouse.
Okay, Anthony?
Nouse.
Gregory?
I'm going to go with the experience and say Nouse.
I'm gonna throw a little shocking thing your way. I'm not going Timmy Hanning, though.
Wow.
Oh, God, it's tough, actually. I don't know if I'm going to... See, the Roxbury nostalgic version of me wants to pick Mike Nouse. But the Stinkbox Warrior me wants to pick Timmy Fimer because I was on a championship-winning team with him as well. And the tables... This will split the table if I pick Timmy Fimer out. I'm giving Timmy Fimer the edge, all right? You heard it. There it is.
All right.
Inception.
I don't think it's I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's like...
3 times. Mike's had a couple of rough outings this season, as has every pitcher, but I think the Bush Leaguers are hot. And they're going to have a nice little warm-up game with the Goons on Sunday. And because I picked him, Timmy's going to give me nothing but Parmesan. And that's our deal. Timmy Fimer. Mark it down.
All right, so that's a tie?
Yes.
That is a tie.
Yes. So that makes it a toss-up. That's what they say in the biz.
Okay.
Great.
All right, we went to the catcher position where you have Mike O'Shea. Is that Mike O'Shea?
Yeah, it's Mike O'Shea.
Who's going to be starting catching? Is it going to be Big Joe Stevens?
Big Joe Stevens.
Joe Stevens for the Bush Leaguers. And for the Bockers, you'd probably assume that it's probably Terry Crossan, maybe?
Maybe Matt Monahan.
Maybe Matt Monahan.
Yeah,
Maybe, I know the Veg was catching the other night.
No,
so.
it's not going to be that. I'd say Matt Monahan's probably the starting catcher.
All right, so O'Shea or Joe Stevens, Bill?
I'm going to give it to Joe Stevens. He put one over me in the first game on the Bush League.
Oh, God. He pretty much he ruined your whole career.
Yeah. Got to give credit where credit's due.
Timmy?
Big Joe has been the best player on the Bush Leaguers all year. He's hit probably over 600, no joke. We have the app that tells us. I'm pretty sure it's close to 700,
Joe.
which is ridiculous. And he's done it 2 years in a row. So, and he's a cat back there.
Joe, dare I even ask?
I'd like to just say shout out Corey Schreiner, or the best 1-2 in the league.
So you're going with yourself, obviously.
Yes.
Anthony.
I'd have to go with Joe Stevens as well, just because his hitting is it's a little bit better than Mike's. Mike's getting hot. He's been hitting a lot better lately, and Mike O'Shea's a very good player for us. He can play a lot of positions. He does a lot of things for us, and he's a great player. But just offensively, Joe's been a little bit better this year. So I'd have to. But defensively, I think I'd give the edge to Mike. But offensively, I'd give the edge to Joe.
Billy knows.
Yes.
Greg.
I'm going big Joe Stevens.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Joe Stevens. Not a slight to Mike O'Shea, who has been hitting better lately, but Joe, you got it back there, bud.
Also, just a point, Mike O'Shea's heart is unmatched on the field. Diving into home plate, diving into any base that he has to go to.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's just not good at sliding or that's how he does it.
No, he's just Mike O'Shea's a gamer.
He's an absolute gamer. He proved that with the stink box, and
He's a gamer. That's
Double
why
play O'Shea. Stink Box
play
Warriors.
O'Shea.
Hey, that kid's a champion.
he's an absolute
Can't take that away from him.
No.
Oh, Michael, we love you on the podcast. All right, so edge catching bush leaguers. We go to left field. You got Mr. Castaway Joe Pino for the Castaways. You got Jake DeFonso for the bush leaguers, I would assume, right in left field. And Arrow for the Bockers. Yeah, a pretty good crop of outfielders. Anthony, I'll start with you this time.
Yeah, it's tough. You know what? Honestly, I'd probably go with Arrow if I had to pick a left fielder. I know obviously he's a little bit older, but he moves pretty well for his age. And offensively, he's a lefty, but he can go all fields, and he sprays the gap really well. And he's been doing it for a long time. So I think they're all pretty close. But if I had to pick one of them right now, I'd probably go with Arrow. I feel like Jake's really good too, but I think Arrow's a little better.
Joseph?
I think it's close as well, but I'm going to have to give it to Jake. Jake can move around, and he'll lay out for it. He'll run into the fence for it. He'll do whatever he can to get the ball. So I got to go Jake.
And Timmy Feimer.
I'm gonna go with Pino. He showed a lot. He showed power, which is shocking. I didn't think he had that, and he's hit real well all year. It's for the games I've seen, and he's a good fielder. No slight to Jake whatsoever, but I'll give it to Pino.
William.
I'm going Pino as well. I know he's a little,
Like a dick? Like he's an asshole?
Yeah, but, no, Pino, we love you. No, he hits the ball hard. He plays the outfield well. Monday was a little rough, but I think he's...
Yeah, it wasn't rough. It was a couple, like one dropped in front of him. That was kind of a tough play. It was like, you're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't. He made the safe play, which, you know what? I'm not going to get him made for a guy like that. Pino's solid. He's solid.
He is. And that's why my choice is...
And his name is
Joe Pino. I'm taking Pino. I like what I see from Jake out there. Of course, Arrow. You're a goddamn legend. But I'm going Pino. I got confidence in the kid. Again, he was a stink box warrior. He's a championship pedigree. Greg?
I was going to go with Arrow. I feel like I've never seen him drop a ball. He's always making tough plays.
He almost killed Junior.
That's Junior's problem.
Junior was standing on the tracks when the train came through.
Yeah, the only reason I did pick Arrow is because I think offensively he's the best one. I think defensively they're all pretty close, but I think average-wise he hits the best for average, and he can go all fields. And I feel like Pino's kind of an all-pull hitter, and I think Jake's mostly a pull hitter, maybe up the middle a little bit. But I think what separates Arrow from all them is his ability to go all field as a lefty, which is pretty hard to do.
So what happened there? Pino got the edge.
Pino got the edge.
Okay. Left center field. You got Eddie Warren, the Castaways. You got
Brendan McCabe.
What's his name?
Brendan McCabe.
Brendan McCabe for the Bush Leaguers, and you got Terrence Crossan for the Bockers. I'll start with Gregory.
This might come shocking to all you guys, but I'm going with Terrence.
Oh.
He's solid in the outfield.
Yeah, when his hamstrings are together.
It's his groin, but we'll move on. He hit a home run the other night.
He did.
The only one at the Corp game.
It's because his girlfriend was sitting there, so he muscled up.
I left before that.
Well, I think he's the best hit. I think he's the best power out of them, and I might think he's the best defensively.
Anthony.
I go Terrence as well. I think Eddie Warren's having a really good year for us, and he's been one of our best hitters. He's probably batting like 500 or 600 for us all this year. But Terrence's power and his arm in left center, and he just covers so much ground. I feel like it's hard to pick against him. So I'm going to go with Terrence Crossing.
Joe.
I'm going to have to give it to Ed. As good as BMAC is in the field, Ed has that speed. That speed is unmatched. And
Fast Eddie.
Yeah, he can hit, and when he gets on those bases, he's dangerous. So I got to go Ed.
Tim?
Yeah, this one's tough because Brendan doesn't hit for us. He's just a fielder. So in the field, I'd say I like Brendan out there more than anyone, but all around, I had to give it to Eddie also.
Fast Ed.
Fast Ed, Bill?
Fast Ed.
I am also going to go Eddie Warren.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Again, having a good year.
He's having a really good year.
Hitting the shit out of the ball from what I can see, and he can track it out there. So
he's probably been our best hitter this year, which, I didn't see that coming.
Plus, I just had to take Terrence down a peg because, fuck him. Fucking Dr. Crossan.
Other than Eddie's home run trot, he's had a really good year.
Yeah, that wasn't not his best moment.
You know what? If it wasn't against the Phlegm, he would have done it. Actually, he probably would have. Yes, he would have.
We go to right center field, and we have for the Castaways, Vinny Espo. We have right center field for you guys is who?
Danny Gresser.
Danny Gresser will be out in right center, and for the Bockers, we don't know. We could assume it might be like Randy or...
Could be that kid that we see all the time. We have no idea who he is.
Bizarro Egghead.
Sure.
Young 20 years ago Egghead.
Yeah. I really hope he listens.
All right, but I'm pretty sure that no matter who's out there, I'm picking Espo anyway, so...
I agree.
I think he's one of the better outfielders this year in the league, getting to balls like some of the things I've seen him doing. He found his stroke, too, so I would go straight Espo on that one.
He's been slumping a little bit lately, but you know what? Honestly, it's his first year in arc softball. It takes time to adjust to that kind of pitching. But his speed he might be one of the fastest guys in the league. He flies. His glove is ridiculous. The way he tracks a fly ball, he glides out there. It's really crazy to watch. And I think he's going to be really good for a really long time. I'm going to go with Vinny Esposito.
Joe?
I think Vinny Esposito is going to be very good as well, but I'm going to have to give it to Danny because Danny also can move around out there. He can cover so much ground, and when he's on at the plate, he can go. He's also another one that's dangerous on the bases, so I'm going to have to give it to Danny.
He's a champion. Tim?
Yeah, defensively, Espo is pretty ridiculous. He made a catch against us the game should have ended on that play, but it was unbelievable.
Like with the one way back in right center field? Is it like...
I think he...
No, the one he came diving in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was the first game we played.
Now I know you're talking about.
Danny secretly has... at the plate has been on fire all year. So he's flying under the radar, but he's played really well. He's leading off for us, so I'm going to give it to Danny.
Let's go Spo.
William, Spo. All right, so kind of a split table, but Spo will get the edge. And that'll bring us to right field, which will be James Caffrey for the Castaways. Who's in right for the Bush Leaguers?
It will either be Damon Anderson or Brendan McDerby, depending on the breezy round robin schedule.
And for the Bockers, we don't know. Could be Randy. Could be young Egghead.
Yeah, it could be Randy.
Gallagher could be out there.
Well, no, what's his name? Who's the guy that plays left field when Arrow's not here? That's Randy. Yeah,
Randy.
It's got to be Randy in right field. He's pretty good, too.
Or even in right center.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if it's Randy, I might have to give it to Randy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. He made that catch.
He's impressed me. That was against you guys?
The one where he hit the fence?
Where his face went through the fence and he broke it?
Yeah, maybe I'm just still hung up on that catch, but I think I would pick Randy. Cap's been hurt all year. He's still kind of finding his way.
Yeah.
He's really tall. So, I guess that's good. But Bush Leaguers, what do you think?
It depends on who's out there for us.
Well, who's the better option for you? Who are you hoping's out there?
I'm hoping Damon's there. He's a gamer, and he's been hitting real well, and he's been real good in the field for us. But he tries real hard and makes an effort plays. So I'm hoping it's Damon. But if not, Brendan McDerby's not a bad second option. But I'll give it to Damon if he's out there.
Joe?
Yeah, I agree. I think Damon might have the edge just because his hitting was so well this season. But I'm happy. I'm more than happy with both of them out there. Either one I'm good with. So,
Anthony.
I'm picking Caffrey. I know he's not having the greatest season, and but he's picking up his hitting a little bit lately. He's starting to hit line drives. He was flying out a lot in the beginning of the year, but his swing's starting to get a little more level. And I think from a defensive standpoint, I think he's the best outfielder out of all three of them. I think he's better than Randy, and I think he's better than Damon. I think he has the best arm. And I think he's getting a little bit older, but I still think he covers a good amount of ground. So I'm going to go with Caffrey.
And Gregory.
I'm also going to take Caffrey. I really don't know Randy or Damon by that much. But
So this whole category is a toss-up. It's 2 for Caffrey, 2 for Damon, 2 for Randy, toss-up in right field. And this is a last-minute addition here that my esteemed colleague Greg Gentile just passed across the desk. Who's got the edge at the manager position? You got Double-A for the Castaways. You got Timmy Feimer for the Bush Leaguers. You got Jimmy Mangan for the Bockers.
I'm not picking. So I don't think any of the managers should pick because they're just going to pick themselves.
then you can pick and then it's fine.
I don't think it's really.
Yeah, you just kind
I
of...
don't think there's any advantage to be had.
I think it was just funny to say it.
No,
I'd rather not even be the manager if I had to say anything. I'd rather just play, but
Yeah, I'm not enjoying being a manager at all.
It's a lot of
Not all
work.
it's cracked up to be.
It's just annoying.
I think we're all very good managers. I think we all know the game. I think we all know what we're doing. It's going to come down to players on the field playing,
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. There's no double switches in Roxbury Softball, There's no lefty-righty relief matchups and all that stuff. It's just,
Not yet.
It's just guys coming. It's just whoever makes the least amount of mistakes and whoever hits the ball is going to win. And that's what it comes down to.
That's softball.
All right, so we have... it's pretty split
I think the Bush Leaguers won.
between the three teams. According to the circles on Greg's thing, the Castaways have 4 circles. The Bush Leaguers have 3.
But they also have 2 splits.
The Bockers have none. And then there's a bunch of splits. So, again, going back to the beginning of the podcast, I'd love to see a Castaways Bush Leaguers game 2 in the round robin.
It's possible.
If everything else falls into place and the Bockers
But
lose tonight,
I'm
the
also
Bush Leaguers
not
win
gonna,
Sunday.
I'm not going to sleep on the Bockers because they're not a bad team, and if they start hitting, they could beat either of us, I think. But like I said, the hope is that we're going to play the Bockers in the first game, I think. Hopefully we win, and then against the Bush Leaguers, we got to play better than we did Monday night, or we're going to get smoked again. But I think we're capable of giving them a good game.
All right, so before we get out of here, let's just briefly touch on tonight's games Wednesday night. First game, we got the
Sharks and Bockers.
Sharks-Bockers. Again, final game for both teams?
I know it's
Or
the
the
Bockers.
Sharks have one
I
more,
think
The
maybe.
Sharks play the Phlegm.
I think the Sharks place. Yeah, I think the Sharks have
All
another
right, so
game.
the last chance for the Bockers to hold on to that 4 spot now.
Yeah.
So it was once a 3-spot pipe dream. Now they can go from 8-2 to 8-8 with a loss tonight to the Sharks, who have been red hot. So real quick, going around the table from Billy, who do you got? Sharks or Bockers?
I'm taking Sharks, and just to clarify, the Sharks actually have 2 games, Friday and Sunday, after tonight.
Thank you for clarifying. Timmy.
Sharks.
Joseph.
Sharks.
Sharks.
Greg.
Sharks.
Yeah, it's going to be a unanimous Shark table tonight. I don't think the Bockers have shown me anything recently that makes me believe they're going to win this game, and the Sharks have shown me everything to think, except for that one time
And
with
Van
Sean Cahill out in the outfield. I had that was too short of a sound, but I had nothing. But yeah, Sharks win tonight, and the second game is what? Corp Shockers.
Yep.
Correct.
Corp Shockers.
Hot take.
Shane Gretzer on the mound tonight.
Sugar Shane getting the nod against the Corp. Shockers have had a respectable year, their first year in the league. Greg, who do you got?
Got the Corp by a lot.
So the A team is your official Corp
Oh, yeah.
sound drop. Play the Bush Leaguer drop.
Oh, yeah. You can guess,
Like
finish the
pretend
question
like
first.
I pretend that like I got the Bush Leaguers. Then what? Anthony, who you got tonight? Corp Shockers.
Corp.
Joe?
I'm going to have to go with Corp.
Shock the world.
Nice.
Ooh.
Billy?
Corp.
Yeah, I guess I'm going Corp too.
You're not going to shock the girls tonight?
I mean, they could. I mean, who knows?
I just think the Corp want to win first place, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there was no like motivation to play this game, I wouldn't be surprised if the Shockers won. But I think the Corp are still motivated and still want to come in first and still want to be ahead of the Bombers. So I'm gonna go with the Corp.
All right, and since we don't podcast on Fridays, let's just do Friday's game real quick. Literal one-word answers. 8 o'clock game. Bombers, Sharks. Greg, go.
Sharks.
Bombers.
Sharks.
Sharks.
Bombers.
Bombers.
That's a split decision.
Yeah, that's good. I hope it's a good game on Friday if it doesn't fucking rain again.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, the weather's not looking good.
And then 9:30,
That's the Sharks.
Flem Shockers. Okay? Flem Shockers. One-word answer. Billy, start it.
Shock the world.
Shockers.
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 Phlegm.
Shockers.
Shocking.
All right, yeah, so we'll see how that goes down. We'll see what happens with the Bockers tonight. I want to thank Joe Stevens and Timmy Feimer from the Bush Leaguers for coming on and giving us their 2 cents. So thanks, fellas, for being a part of it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Good luck going forward in your softball endeavors. And as always, thank you, Greg, and thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Billy, for being here. You guys are great.
Thank you too, Rick.
Yeah, this has been fun. It's been a long one again, right, Bill?
We're at 54.
Damn.
That's nice. That's a good time.
All right, so you may or may not know, but after last week, we retired our outro song. We're no longer going to be singing to you. I feel like it's just run its course. So if that was your favorite part of this whole thing, deal with it because it's gone. We had a good run with it. So again, thanks to our special guests, the Bush Leaguers. Thanks to my esteemed colleagues who are always here. This has been Sundays for the Men. You keep listening, and we'll keep doing this stupid shit. So thank you, Roxbury, for listening.
Year of the Bush.
It may or may not be the year of the Bush, and rest in peace, Bob Fred. He's got full donates.
R.I.P. Bags.
You know what Sundays for the men. Got Sundays for the men.
Are we queer?
It's clear.
Well, no, it's